Help me to reach 2,000 subscribers. She said I'd humiliated him. That I'd crossed the line by accusing him of something so absurd. So, I agreed to apologize. Because that's what a husband should do, right? Keep the peace. At least, that's what she always believed. What she didn't know was that I already knew everything. It all began with laughter, the kind that lingers too long between two people who shouldn't share that kind of comfort. My wife, Emma, and her best friend, Daniel. A man I tolerated only because she loved him like family. He'd been in our wedding photos, part of our lives for years. She called him the brother I never had. But I'd seen the way he looked at her when he thought I wasn't watching. Still, I trusted her. That was my first mistake. Everything unraveled on a Tuesday night. She was in the shower, and her phone buzzed twice on the counter. I didn't mean to look, but the screen lit up, and curiosity became a curse. Still thinking about last night? You drive me crazy. Not even hidden. His name, Daniel, right there. I opened the thread and scrolled. Words, pictures, hotel names, excuses disguised as girls' trips. Every lie she'd ever told had a date, a time, and a digital fingerprint. I stood there with her phone in my hand, the sound of running water echoing while something inside me shattered silently. By the time she stepped out of the shower, I was calm. Too calm. The kind of calm that feels colder than rage. For weeks after that, I played my role perfectly. I still kissed her goodnight, laughed at her jokes, pretended to be the man she thought she was fooling. But every night, after she fell asleep, I worked in silence. I backed up her messages, her photos, her emails. I tracked her locations, collected receipts, organized everything. Neat, precise, admissible. I wasn't seeking revenge. I was constructing justice. She didn't know her half of our joint account was being quietly drained into a new one under my name. She didn't know the lawyer we'd trusted for years now worked solely for me. And Daniel, I learned more about him than he'd ever want revealed. His business was partly under his wife's name. His spotless public image, his perfect family portrait, all built on a lie. I even discovered that the loan he'd taken for his daughter's private school came, unknowingly, from my investments. Patience became my weapon. Precision, my shield. Then came the night of the argument. I casually mentioned Daniel during dinner. Her fork froze mid-air. "You're jealous again," she snapped. "You embarrassed him last time, remember? You owe him an apology." I smiled softly. "You're right," I said. She looked relieved. That was her biggest mistake. Saturday, 6 p.m. I arrived at Daniel's house. His wife, Claire, opened the door, warm, welcoming, completely unaware. She called him over. He appeared with that smug, fake-friendly grin I'd grown to despise. "I came to apologize," I said evenly. "You didn't have to," he smirked. "I do," I interrupted. Then I turned to Claire. "Actually, I owe you one too." She frowned, confused. "To me?" "Yes," I said, taking a slow step closer. "Because your husband has been sleeping with my wife for the past 3 years." The silence that followed could have shattered glass. Claire's face drained of color. Daniel's mouth opened, but no words came out. I handed her a small USB drive. "Everything's here. Messages, photos, hotel receipts. I thought you deserved to know." Then I looked back at him. "Now I've said sorry for upsetting you." And I walked out. The fallout was swift and brutal. Claire filed for divorce within the week, through the same lawyer I'd hired months earlier. Daniel's business collapsed once she withdrew her shares. His reputation disintegrated online when screenshots surfaced. Not from me, of course. I didn't need to do a thing. As for Emma, I filed quietly. By the time she realized half our assets were gone, the papers were already served. She tried tears, apologies, guilt, but none of it mattered. "You planned this," she whispered one night, her voice trembling. "I did," I said. "Because you planned to destroy me too. You just weren't as good at it." Now, when people ask why we divorced, she tells them we simply grew apart. She never mentions Daniel. He lives in a small rented apartment now, trying to rebuild whatever scraps remain of his life. Sometimes, I drive by, not out of nostalgia, but as a reminder of what patience can accomplish. Revenge isn't loud. It doesn't need fire or fury. It's quiet, calculated, final. I didn't have to yell or fight. I only needed to agree, once. So yes, I said sorry. And I meant it. Just not the way she thought I did.